What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So, for those who pay attention to the college basketball landscape, if you're big college basketball fans, you all have noticed or you saw that Rick Pitino is now head coach of the St. John's men's basketball team, right? The legendary Rick Pitino, for sure. And Rick always looked like he in the mob, looked like he is a mafia boss, and I don't know, he fits that mold and that mystique is all around him, for sure, right? So he leaves Iona and becomes St. John's head basketball coach, and it puts him back into the middle of prime time, big time college basketball, which is where he wanted to end up at long term, right? He took the punishment, at Louisville, stepped down, or he relieved of his duties. He may have stepped down or whatever after the whole scandal of him or graduate assistants getting prostitutes, getting escorts for potential recruits. After that whole situation, that fiasco, he had to go to Iona, and now he's found himself at St. John's. And during his introductory press conference, Rick Pitino lays it all out. He basically says that a lot of the guys that are currently at St. John's, they're not going to be there no more. They're not going to be there. Those guys will be gone. Then a lot of them are going to be moved. They're not going to be there, right? And he says that the reason why is because those guys, they more than likely won't fit under his regime. They won't fit under his mold, or they won't fit into the ilk of what he wants his guys to be made of, because he wants guys that are 100% dedicated and focused on basketball and overly in love, overly dedicated to the game of basketball. And if you don't fit that mold, it is what it is. You got to go. No hard feelings. Let me just dress this up, because a lot of parents will hear Rick Pitino say that and get swindled into believing that, hey, all you have to do is just work really, really hard. Just give all your blood, sweat, and tears and just be 100% dedicated to basketball, and Rick will allow you to stay at St. John's. Y'all, no, he won't. Rick Pitino dressed that up very nicely. He made it sound good and dressed it up and made it sound like, oh my God, it's just that I want guys who are 100% dedicated to basketball. I guarantee you, most of those men at St. John's now are 100% dedicated to the game of basketball. And a lot of the guys that Rick Pitino will bring in are 70%, 80% dedicated to basketball. What Rick Pitino really means is that he wants guys who are like that in his program. He wants dudes that are official, like a referee with a whistle, okay? That's what the type of dudes he wants. He wants you to be top tier elite. So if you're a tweener, he has no room for you in his program. If you're a guy, when I say a tweener, if you're a guy that's good, but you're not great, Rick ain't really got that much room for you there. You got to go. And he's saying it nicely, but he's dressing it up, but he's really saying, in layman's terms, you ain't got to go, but you got to get the hell up out of here, right? And when Rick is telling these guys that are currently at St. John's, they got to move on, Rick want to keep the star player there and build around him. He might keep a few guys who are really good. Other than that, everybody else is getting sent on their way, right? And he's basically forcing them out of the program. And when people hear Rick Pitino talk about this, I hear a lot of parents, a lot of other college basketball fans or pundits saying, hey, he's giving you what it is, plain and dry, cut and dry, it is what it is. And kids shouldn't be so sensitive to this. This is the business of college basketball. This is what it is, and it is what it is. No harm, no foul. Go on and move on to another program. With the transfer portal, you can find you somewhere else to play. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. See, people will say that this is a consequence of the transfer portal and the NIL deals and all this and all of that. Well, coaches are gonna just lay it all out there. They're gonna say you gotta go. They're gonna force guys out of programs now. They've been doing this for a long time, and to act like you shouldn't be sensitive to it for certain kids, I don't think that's real to me. I don't. Because a lot of these adults are going to say, well, you calling them kids. These are grown men. They're grown-ass men. No, they not, bro. 19, 20, 21, you're not no grown-ass man. You ain't paying your own bills. You ain't got no job. You in school trying to figure out your way, trying to figure out life. Imagine calling a 21-year-old grown as hell right now in this economy that we living in. And inflated as hell, everything high. They can't survive on their own out here. So to call them adults or grown-ass men is really disingenuous. They are grown. They're of age. They are of legal age. A lot of them are 21. Some of them even younger than that, 20, 19. But they ain't grown. Cut it out. But a lot of people are basically They don't have any sympathy or empathy for these kids. They're like, hey, it is what it is. Hey, cut your losses. Bye-bye. Primetime Deion Sanders said the same thing. It is what it is. But I really want to give y'all a different perspective of this, right? Because a lot of y'all, if this happened to y'all kids, a lot of y'all would be up in arms, fussing and mad about it and pissed off and ready to fight somebody because your kid lost their scholarship. But I'm going to tell you this, man. Like, this is not always, it is what it is. And this is just, you chalk it up as it's just what it is. And this is just college basketball. There are kids who walk onto teams, earn scholarships. The coach leaves and they get pushed out with nowhere to go. A fraternity brother of mine, shout out to my brother Charleston, man. Charleston. We call him CJ. CJ played at Arkansas State. He was a safety. He started off, I think, outside linebacker, but they put him at safety, right? He played in safety. He walks onto the team when Gus Malzahn is head coach of Arkansas State. He walks onto the team as a freshman. He makes the team. He makes the team, and he earns a scholarship on the team. He plays so well, he earns a scholarship, right? So Gus Malzahn takes a head coaching job somewhere else. Blake Anderson comes in as the coach. I think, Blake Anderson or somebody else came in. I forgot if somebody came in before Blake Anderson. I'm not sure. It might have been Blake Anderson, maybe somebody else. I don't know. Forget. But another coach comes to the program, and my brother CJ, my fraternity brother, he notices that his scholarship is now gone, completely gone, right? He notices he does not have this scholarship anymore. So he's like, yo, what the hell is going on? What happened? I thought I secured schooling for myself. I thought I played well, and I thought, I did what I had to do. And I showed that I'm a good enough player to be a collegiate football player at the D1 level in the Sun Belt Conference. Why is my scholarship gone? He goes and meets with the coaches, and he asks them, why was my scholarship taken away? They can't even give him an answer why they took the scholarship from him. They couldn't say he played bad in spring ball. He was playing well, knew all the plays. Was covering his assignments well, all of that. But they couldn't give him a really solid answer why his scholarship was removed. And that's when he knew it was fishy. Like, something is up, man. Dudes is in here. They wanting certain guys on the team, certain guys that they want, and it is what it is. And he figured out what happened. They gave his scholarship to another guy that the coach wanted. So here, my brother Charleston is thinking that he got a scholarship covered. He think he got schooling covered, and he's earned that with his blood, sweat, and tears, his sweat equity. He didn't balled out. And then when a new coach comes, his scholarship gets taken right from underneath him. So at this point, he like, yo, my confidence took a hit. I'm hurt. I thought I had school paid for. Now I got another thing in the back of my mind. I'm trying to play football, but I'm trying to earn a scholarship back. And I almost thought about quitting because it was just like, it was so frustrating. I'm like, what am I doing this for? This coach obviously does not want me. I'm playing well, and he still took my scholarship. He don't want me here. He don't believe in me. But he said, you know what? I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to see. I don't know, man. I think God got a better story in store for me. So he continues to play, not on scholarship, as a walk-on once again, right? And he balls out to the point where they have no choice but to give him that scholarship back eventually. They eventually had to give it back to him because he's beating out other guys. And he knowing the assignments and knowing the plays better than other individuals. And so they reluctantly gave it to him, right? And a lot of y'all might say, well, other players can do that too. Why they couldn't do what your friend Charleston did? I'm going to be 100% real with y'all, man. A lot of times other players aren't even given the opportunity to do that. They told bye. Like NSYNC say, get your ass up out of here. Was that NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? I don't know whichever the hell group it was. I don't know. I don't remember what group it was, whatever. But yeah, they told bye, get the hell up out of here. You're gone. You out. And they're not allowed to really try to compete for that position because the coach doesn't care about their competition, right? Because in some situations, try as they might, they just aren't as gifted. They aren't as talented as the guys in front of them. And in this situation, it sees Charleston, my boy Charleston, a.k.a. CJ, he just gave it his all. And he was able to get that scholarship back, but it was hell trying to get that scholarship back. And he remembered after that, he didn't want to rock with none of the coaching staff, none of that. He told me after I left practice, I was done with the team. I wasn't trying to be around them, kicking it out all with the coaches. I wasn't trying to come to the dinners at the coach's house because I knew what they was on. They never really wanted me. They was forced to take me. Certain guys get injured. Certain guys, he just beat out certain guys. They don't know the playbook, and they were forced to. They didn't really want to give them the scholarship back, but they had no chance, no choice but to do that. And so it's like, man, I feel for stories like that when I hear a brother has earned a scholarship and he gave it his all, then a coaching change comes and the coach takes the scholarship away from him, even though he's playing well. And I can see if CJ was playing terrible, if he was missing tackles, missing assignments and all this and all of that, and he just didn't know the playbook, then okay, he didn't do his due diligence to keep his scholarship. CJ was playing well, and the whole team knew it. His teammates knew it. They were confused at why his scholarship got taken. But it was just simply due to the fact that they didn't want Charleston there. They wanted to give it to another dude. They had another dude in mind for that position. And no matter what Charleston was playing like, they're like, nah, we want this dude. We feel like he could be the better one. Forget what Charleston doing. We don't give a damn what you're doing. Try as you might. You ain't getting the scholarship back. But they were forced to give it back to him because the other dude just couldn't keep up. The ones that wanted in mind. So I'm saying you got to think about them type of stories when y'all be trying to not feel sorry for play. I don't feel sorry for these kids. Man, look at that. My brother almost would have had to go home because he didn't have enough money to cover school for real in that situation. But he had to be a dog and put his body on the line, even when he was hurt, to try to go out there and give it his all to try to get his scholarship back. And ultimately, thankfully, he did, right? There are other stories like this. I had a friend of mine that went to Morgan Park High School with me, man. Go to University of Illinois at Chicago. Get to the school. He played there. His freshman year, he's told that he isn't progressing the way they want him to progress. And they tell him, hey, you're not going to play here. You're not going to get no playing time. You got to find you somewhere else to go. All right? I don't care what year. This scholarship is not... See, this is the thing. A lot of people think athletic scholarships are granted on a 4-year basis. They're not. Depending on the conference that you're in, you're not going to get a scholarship on a 4-year basis. It's only going to be year to year. And if they don't feel like, and it's unfair to say as a freshman, the dude isn't progressing like the way you want him to all the time because he's new. He's getting acclimated to the rigors of college basketball. But some people ain't trying to hear that. They like, nah, man, you ain't exceeding what you're not meeting expectations the way we want you to. You got to go. And he had to lead the program and he was hurt. And he never played college basketball again because it shattered his confidence. Knowing that a coach would give him a scholarship and then when he get there, not rock with him and just not even give him a chance to try to just get better. He just like, no, bye, gone. And the problem is, the college coaches have to win, right? They have to win to get paid and keep their jobs. So these coaches aren't people's friends, right? And so they could be winning, but if they feel like another guy is better than you, in some way you taking up a roster spot to them. I could be using this other guy to keep my job alive. So, hey, bye, right? And I don't know what happens to you, but goodbye, good riddance. That's how they write you off. Another situation, man, a kid from Marshall High School on the west side goes to play for Jim Calhoun at University of Connecticut. Great, the legendary Jim Calhoun. He was a great player. I think the Sun-Times Player of the Year in Chicago, averaging like 25 a game, 7 steals, going crazy at Marshall. He gets to Connecticut, and I hear this from my dog, a teammate of his at Marshall. My boy tells me the story. He gets to Connecticut, Jim Calhoun not even talking to him. Not even talking to him when he's there, right? And you would think that on a 14, 15-man roster and basketball team, these coaches are close to these kids. They love these kids. They talk to these kids on a regular basis. They're close to all these kids. No, they're not. At certain programs, the coach only close to dudes who he feel like is like that. The dudes who helping him win the most games. If you're a freshman and you're not playing and you're not progressing the way they want you to progress, they ain't talking to you. The dude I'm talking about, when he was at Connecticut, he said he didn't even feel comfortable talking to Jim Calhoun. He never felt comfortable around him, even talking to him at all. He never even felt comfortable talking to him. So it's just like, man, then he a Chicago dude out there on the East Coast. It was just like, man, he wasn't progressing the way they wanted him to progress in that freshman season, and he was gone. They basically told him, you got to go somewhere else. You're not going to play here. go somewhere else and find you somewhere else to go. And he had to do that. And it's a real sad situation because I remember he was on TV selecting Connecticut. As a school on TV, on live TV, had the little cue cards up and all that, had a Duke card and all these other schools up. He goes to Connecticut, and I'm waiting to see him excel at Connecticut, and he never gets the chance or the opportunity to do so because they feel like you're not progressing the way we want you to progress. You got to go. And it happens to a lot of kids, man. They have these scholarships, and they get pushed out. Their confidence gets shattered. I'm not saying you got to keep everybody, but certain situations, man, some dudes aren't even given time to develop. Okay, if you feel like you're not progressing in the sophomore season, all right, cut them loose, but some guys aren't even given a chance to get acclimated to college basketball, and it's like, whatever, move on. So collegiate athletics have always been a business, and in some situations, some of these kids get the short end of the stick, and they're not forgotten about. They're written off. They're forgotten about. They're written off, and dudes don't care nothing about them, and just be like, hey, it is what it is. See you later. You're done. So I want individuals to keep that in mind when they talk about, I don't feel bad for these kids, all of that. Listen, it's kids that walk on the teams and make the team and earn scholarships and then get their stuff just snatched away from them for no other reason than the coach just wants somebody else there. Now what their kid's supposed to do? It's hard for a walk-on to just go on and walk on somewhere else sometimes. A lot of walk-ons aren't even taken serious or considered at certain other programs. You know what I mean? So now he got to go to a lesser program, not because he's not good enough. In the situation with my brother Charleston, it's just that the coach just he was showing favoritism to another guy that he just wanted at the program and just snatched Charleston's scholarship away. So I want people to think about those things and not just write it off as just, these kids just spoiled. They don't want to compete. Now, some kids don't want to compete, but some kids aren't given a chance to compete at all. The coach will tell you got to compete, but the coach ain't fucking with them like that. They will sell it to y'all that all they have to do is compete. But when you're around college athletes, like I was always around college athletes. A lot of my friends were college athletes. You hear these stories about what goes on. They're not given a chance to compete. Bruh, go. I don't care what you know. I'm not letting you showcase what you can do and fight. No, I've seen enough. You're gone. You don't get a chance to compete for this. Bye. And then the kids are written off as just being spoiled brats who don't want to compete for nothing. They don't want to earn nothing. No, the coach ain't letting them earn nothing. Coach saying he'll tell the world publicly, it's an open competition. It's not an open competition. Your ass not playing. Then they tell them. Some of them don't even get the opportunity to transfer in their home. Some of them are pushed out of the program. It happens. You got to go. I don't know what you got to want. I don't know what you're going to do. Go home. Go somewhere else. See what else you can find. Find work somewhere else. Bye. And I think it's just, I don't know, man. And they've tried to write off college athletics as amateurism for so long. It's never been that. Now, with the NILs available and all of that, now the coaches and everybody wants to be, this is a business now. It's been a business, though. And it's been happening for the longest. I guarantee Rick Pitino not going to even give them kids no chance to compete. Bye. You're gone. I don't care. You're not no competition. Get out of here. I don't want you here. You're not like that. You're good, but you're not great. Legendary Rick Pitino want great players only. So who cares if you walked on? That's what Rick Pitino's saying. Who cares? I don't care. Your scholarship gone. Go somewhere. Go to Iona where I left. Go over there. Give a damn what happened to you. That's how they are, man. So, I just want to make people privy to that. Before you just, all these kids don't want to compete. Got to think about what's really going on in these situations, man. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.